Willie D Live.
Jazz Anderson.
Yeah.
What's up, Jazz?
What's up? I'm excited to be here.
Man, how long has it been since I laid eyes on you?
Man, it's been
I'm talking about in person.
years.
Yeah, because I think I met you when you were like 16 or something.
Yeah, I'm
17 or
27
something
now.
Like that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's
27.
crazy.
Wow.
And that's what I'm going to say, too. I'm just honored to even, be around you again. Houston legendary stuff.
Right.
So,
Appreciate it.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited for your evolution.
Thank you.
I've been watching. I've been watching.
Yeah.
I follow you hard on
Yeah,
Instagram.
you do. That's one thing you will support. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna be a basketball player.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought so too. But injuries. I think any college athlete can speak to the fact that injury really will either make you want to stay passionate about something or you'll lose your passion. And I think for me, I just lost the passion because it took so long for me to recover. And then I ended up getting dropped from the team. It was just a lot. So I went through a whole depression, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you cope?
So, it was
through
crazy because I went to Prairie View A&M University. The coach has since reached out to me, the one who cut me, has since reached out to, try to be cool again. But, so I went there. When you're in that recruiting process, they sell you a bunch of dreams. Then you get there and it's not really what you thought.
Yeah.
They say things like, we're going to make you the star, this and that. Then you get there and it's kind of like you're coming off the bench. So, I redshirted for 1 year. Then when I actually did get out there, I felt like we're playing Rice. We're playing like I love HBCUs, but sometimes when it comes to the athletic programs, these other schools, they're like, the sports is their life. You know what I'm saying? So these girls was like 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm 5'9", 130. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So the first injury that I had that really took me out was against Rice. It was a regular. I went for the layup, and she just knocked the wind out of me. The girl was huge.
You didn't get up and swing on it? You didn't channel your inner Tammy Roman?
You know what's so crazy? I knew that I was injured because I cried. And I never cried in a game of basketball because my mom would always say, we don't cry. What are you doing? This is sports. You better get up. And that was the first time I was 23, 24 where I cried. I was on the sideline. She hit me so hard, I cried. And I was like,
I'm
sorry.
mom hit you?
No,
Who
the girl
hit
hit me against Rice when we played Rice. So it was Prairie View against Rice. She put me in off the bench. I'm thinking, okay, it's my time. Boom, boom, boom. I'm crossing them up. Go for the layup. She knocked the wind out of me.
Yeah.
And after that, it took me about 3 months to recover.
3 months?
Yeah, because I was dealing with high ankle sprains my whole high school, all that. And I feel like I never really had anybody to tend to that. Like, physical rehab is important.
Did school pay for it?
No. So this was the crazy part. This was the crazy part every time I tell this story. So it took me about 3 months to recover. And they just called me into the office one day and they say, hey, Jazz, you're recovering too slow for us, so we're going to have to let you go. Yeah, it was crazy. So I was living with the whole team. So imagine how embarrassing that was. I'm staying with the actual team and they know. I figured everybody knew except me. I kind of feel like the joke was on me. After that meeting, Jazz is about to get cut. So I had to go back and still live with the team who's waking up every day at 5 a.m., practicing 2-a-days, all that. And I'm just there. Now I'm a regular student after 2 years. It was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever honestly experienced.
So did that make you jaded toward basketball overall?
Yeah, it did.
Can you watch college basketball today?
I'm literally just now getting into it. And honestly, only because of LSU winning. Last year, I was like, oh, this is dope. Like the underdogs, black, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, no. I just didn't watch it anymore. I was over it.
See, this is why I'm all for NIL deals. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that the athletes are getting that money.
Yep.
Get that money, man.
Yeah.
Because these people don't care nothing about you. Yeah, they gonna sing your praises when they trying to recruit you. They want you to come over. They probably told you, man, you're gonna get all the minutes. You're gonna be out. We're gonna build a team around you and everything.
And it's such a lot. And with my dad being Kenny Anderson, I had I had Georgia Tech interested as well. Yeah. But for me, when I sat with PV, I felt like they weren't trying to mold me to be Kenny Anderson. But then when I get there, it's like oh, you're not as strong with your left like he was. And I'm like, well, you knew that. Like, you know,
Right.
let's mold this, though. Let's work on this as a freshman. That's all it takes, you know. But no, they cut me. I think it was my junior year, end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year, they cut me.
So this whole thing about nepotism is only like it can only take you so far. You know, at some point.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
It's gonna have to be on you. And I do think, you know, I was very talented in basketball, and I'm gonna say that myself. And I think anybody who, I came from California, I was putting up points over there, you know. So anybody who has watched me in basketball knows I was talented. But I think when you're not with a good program, they can make
all the difference.
Yes, it's gonna make the difference. So you just have to, you know. And I have nothing against PV. But I was in love with the game of basketball, and after that situation, I don't even think twice about it anymore.
Yeah. Now, I know how you feel about having some disdain for the old school because, you know, for a long time, I had a major beef with my middle school. I hated them. They treated me so bad. I hated them. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with them. And then they invited me to come speak.
Right.
And, you know, at first I was like, man.
Yeah, of course.
Same thing with high school, you know.
Yeah.
My beef was internal, though. I got kicked out for fighting each time. Allegedly. I was kicked out
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I was kicked out for fighting. But, yeah, I can understand having that issue with the school, you know. Like,
for sure.
So do you go back now?
No, but I think now I'm just moving around a lot. You know, like homecoming just passed, but I wasn't here.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about
just
homecoming. Well, you probably literally dodged the bullet this time.
Yeah, no, I
You
saw
heard what
that.
happened,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I read about that.
Yeah.
At the trail ride, yeah. Rest in peace to those people.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You just mentioned your dad, Kenny Anderson. Let's talk about Kenny.
Okay.
All-star point guard,
Yeah.
you know. So how much pressure was it for you to live up to that standard, you know, knowing that you had a dad that played in the NBA and everybody else knowing it? Like,
right.
And they're looking at you for those same attributes.
Yeah, you know, in anything that I've ever done, my mom has always told me just be you and, you know, be as authentic as you can be and the best that you can be. So I think because I didn't have him really on the sidelines or anything like that, to me, it was just, I'm going off of her words. So I'm like, okay, I need to be stronger in my left, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I watched his tapes. It wasn't given that.
You didn't watch your dad tapes?
No.
Now, was you mad at him?
I think, because I'm going to be honest with you, I said I would never speak on him again in an interview, but I think at 27 now, I'm not mad at him. And growing up, you know, when you're younger, you kind of feel like, oh, you weren't there for me, you know? So because everybody like, you look just like your daddy. And then you play ball, you know, similar to him. You know, I wanted to distance myself from anything that had to do with him. I'm going to be completely honest. So, yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. When I was out on the court, I was Jazz Anderson. It had nothing to do with Kenny.
Having that type of a strained relationship with your dad, how did that affect you overall in your life choices?
You know, I can't really put a finger on it, but I think now that I've gotten into this great thing called therapy that I used to think was taboo for a lot of Black people, but I actually, you know, did it. It's my first year doing it. And I think what my therapist somewhat allowed me to see is that I suppressed a lot of emotions that I dealt with from him. So now that I'm older, instead of suppressing it, I'm realizing it. I'm saying, okay, I'm not mad at you anymore. I forgive you, but I can't forgive you for missing those important parts of my life. And it's crazy. I just had this conversation. He didn't call me when I got injured. So like when I just told you that story, he probably knows that he doesn't know that story in depth. Like to him, he knew. My mom told him, I'm lying. My mom told him, hey, your daughter got injured, basketball, she got cut, boom, boom, boom. He called me for like 5 minutes. I was like, keep your head up. You know, but it was kind of weird because to me as a stranger telling me to keep my head up, that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like he missed all the previous years where you could have told me, hey, tend to your ankle more. You know, make sure when you're not at practice, you're still practicing. Eat right. You know what I'm saying? Because you were a star athlete. But I don't fault him anymore. Like, I'm not mad at him. I'm not hurt at all.
How did you do that though? Because I know a lot of people take that to their grave.
I think it was so much weight on me that the moment I finally gave him another chance and he failed again, I said, okay, I have to let you go. Kind of like how you do a breakup. Like after a while, I'm a Cancer, so I'll give you 100, not even 100 tries, like 100,000 tries. Mm-hmm. And on that 100,001, that you failed, that'll be my one time that I'm like, okay, you'll never get the same me again. So, it was one of those things where I wasn't hurt. I kind of tested him just to see if he would fail again. And he failed again. And I was like, okay, I got my answer. So now I can actually move on and live my life because I am really happy.
Help me understand the dynamic between a father and a daughter who are estranged, right? Because a lot of us, we often talk about girls having daddy issues. But
yes.
Men have daddy issues too.
They do.
That's why a lot of men behave the way that they behave. They have horrible relationships with their fathers. They have traumatic experiences with them and memories. And those memories are suppressed oftentimes. And they're unloading those memories and those experiences on the people that come into their lives, including their own children.
You're right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So oftentimes it's easy for us to connect it with the daughters, with the women. But with the men, we don't really think of it that way. And I know for me, in my situation, my daddy was a good dude, but he was an alcoholic, right? And so he could not be a really good father because of his addiction. So that was that experience. So I used that to fuel, I guess, my love for my children, because I was like, I'm not going to be that dude. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be that type of guy. For you, do you think along those lines of like having children and how you might treat do you want to be a better example? Do you think like that, or do you think more so like your relationship with your mother?
I was going to say that. I don't ever relate anything in my adulthood life to him. I'm sorry, Willie. I don't even think about him. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, so for me.
He earned it, though. He earned that.
Yeah.
Like if he did that, if he made you feel a certain way and he didn't step up.
Right.
He earned that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the woman that I am today is all because of Tammy Roman. Mm-hmm. And even where I fall short at, she's always been there to just pick me back up. So anything with him, I really don't think about him like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is your conscience clear though? Is it totally clear?
I think it is. I had this conversation, really deep conversation with my girlfriend of a year now, and I said, I think you missed my basketball years. So you're on my Instagram now. When I say you're, I mean him. And I'm like, I wonder why he's never reached out and said, wow, you have a girlfriend? Let's talk about this, because I feel like a dad's normal reaction is once your kid goes gay, especially if you're not in that kid's life, I'm like, does he think he takes any fault, or anything? Does he have any questions about this? And I said, it's kind of weird that he's never asked me about that, or like, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. Come talk to me. Let's go to lunch. He doesn't. He's like silent about everything that is a big deal in my life. So
perhaps he don't believe that he deserves. He has the right to.
That's a great point too. Someone else told me that too, which he doesn't. Mm-hmm. But I'm just kind of like, I wonder how he feels about it sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah. How did your mom feel about persuasion?
Well,
I do my homework.
Yeah, you do your homework. I love it. Before persuasion, I had another girlfriend who my mom. So basically what I'm saying is she already knew that I liked women. Okay. So persuasion wasn't the first, like, oh my God, she's with a woman now. But it was hard for her then, and it was hard for her when I, openly said I was with Sway. But now she likes Sway. So I think that's the difference, and she always says, I may not accept that lifestyle all in all, but I love you. So I'm going to accept you and what you bring.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of parents who have to who deal with that, I think a lot of them ultimately choose to love their child, continue to love their child, and accept, what it is, even if they don't agree.
Right.
They accept it.
Yeah.
Because what else can you do?
Exactly.
Right? If you don't, you're gonna push them away.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's a conversation that a lot of people have to think about.
Yeah. She didn't want me to feel like she wasn't accepting of me, because you're absolutely right. It does push your kid away, because it's like, well, you're not accepting my lifestyle, so why should I even come around anymore? And then it kind of forces you. I went through a point where I felt like I had to choose a side, not with Sway, but with my previous relationship, because she didn't like that girl. So there were times when I didn't talk to my mom for like 6 months, because at that time I'm like, well, I have to pick my relationship. I'm getting older, so it does really put you in a weird position. But that's how I knew that the relationship I'm in now was 10 times better, because like she's coming over the house for Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? So there's different things that I'm like, okay, this is all like you're accepting me now.
Now, is she accepting it to the extent where you can hug up on each other on the couch and
no, we don't
kiss
do that.
And all that
No.
Okay.
We don't do that, but we don't do that anyway, because she has a daughter. And our biggest thing is we never want, which I've gotten some backlash for this, but my viewpoint on it is I don't want her 3-year-old daughter to look at 2 women and grow up in a household where she feels like, well, I'm supposed to be with a woman. Because I didn't grow up in a household like that. I never saw men. But that's not the reason I like women. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing that my mom brought around me to alter my perception of anything, of who I should date, nothing. So we just want to give her daughter a fair shot. Now, if she comes home from school one day, I was like, I think I like this girl in my class. Well, you made that decision on your own. Yeah. So now let's help you with that. But no, when we're at the house, we don't kiss, we don't hug, nothing around her daughter. She thinks I'm a best friend.
Yeah. Well, I asked that question because I know I've heard a few people say, look, okay, I'll accept you, but look, you ain't finna be sitting on my couch kissing no nigga.
Right.
About, that type of thing. I've heard people say that,
I agree, but I think even with straight couples, would you go over your mom's house and be tonguing your boyfriend down? Like, my sister is as straight as a whatever the saying is, and she's not bringing her boyfriend over, tonguing him down on the couch. So I think it's just a respect thing. I would never do that anyway, even if I was with a man.
You know what? I've been knowing you a while, and it's like you're wise beyond your years.
Thank you.
Even when you rap, your style, the way you deliver, the way you, the things that you say, the metaphors that you use, it's substantive. It's substantive. It's something there.
Thank
right?
You.
When did you have this urge? When you first realized, you said, "You know what? I think I like girls, not boys."
I was about 17.
Yeah.
17, 18, yeah. I had moved from California, came out to Texas, and this girl just turned me out, I guess you can say.
She was an older girl?
No, she was a year younger than me, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah, I just kind of stayed that way the whole time after that.
But it didn't happen while playing basketball, because
it did. I knew that was coming.
So it happened while playing basketball.
Well, I played ball my whole life, so I think I just always had that. I had a boyfriend for 3-4 years, even when I was hooping. But I think when you play basketball, and please, I hope people don't kill me for this, but as a woman, we just have that natural aura to us. We just a little edgier. We're a little harder.
Aggressive.
We are. We're not as feminine as the girl who may play volleyball or run track and field. We're just not. It just is what it is, because we have to be so tough. So I had the boyfriend when I was playing basketball, but then when I moved to Texas, I think it was just curiosity. And curiosity can really,
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You gotta ask that because like a lot of that's for people who don't want their kids gay or got a problem with that. They do not want their daughters playing basketball.
Yeah, that's true. My girl is going through that right now because I love basketball. So I'm like, let's put her in basketball because her daughter's so athletic and like aggressive. And she's like, no. And I'm like, but I don't know. It definitely has a stigma to it, though. I'm not going to lie.
Now, is there a difference between like being intimate with a woman and a man to you? Have you ever been intimate with a man?
I was just about to tell you. No. So you never kissing and stuff, but I never went all the way.
Hold on. Stop.
Never had sex, yeah.
Hold on.
I know. Oh, Lord. I know what question's going to come next, too. Well, how do you know you're really gay?
Hold on. No. I just want to know, so no man has ever bodied you?
No. But you know what's crazy?
Y'all weak, dog. Y'all. Every dude who ever dated Jazz, y'all soft. Y'all weak.
My ex-boyfriend has tried to spin the block. He has tried to spin the block. But I think with him, we were together 3-4 years. He was a football player. I was a basketball player. We were both supposed to go to USC. So I grew up in a household where it was like, save it for marriage. And to me, that was right around the corner. Like when I tell this story, people always laugh, but I'm like, it really made sense to me because I'm like, okay, we're going to get to college, like 19, 20, 21, 22. I'll probably marry you then. So for me, it wasn't a long time. But he ended up cheating and I ended up moving. Life just...
Did that turn you? Did that turn you?
Well, no, but I think it made me more... I can't even put that on him. I don't even want to put that on him. I think I was just curious. And I just have to be honest with that.
Did Tammy raise you to trust man or not trust man? Or just be careful?
I'm going to be honest with you. We didn't have a lot of conversations about men because I never saw a man come in and out of the house. Like, she wasn't the type of mom that just because... So, I was maybe about 3 or 4 when they divorced, Kenny and my mom. I never saw a man till Reggie. And I met Reggie.
Shouts out to Reggie.
Yeah, when I was 18.
Still together?
Yeah, married.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Reggie.
When I was 17, 18. So you have to think for most of my... I mean, I don't know if she probably was dating. I mean, obviously she was dating, but she didn't let me and my sister see it. So I never had a man in the house. So it was just my sister, my mom, and my grandma. All women, strong black women. Yeah. So it's just like, she didn't tell me be safe or not. It was just kind of like the only idea I had of a man, sadly, was my dad. Mm-hmm. So I think I made that judgment of like, well, when he says he's going to pick me up, he never does. Yeah. He says he's going to call me Friday. It's Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, it just, as you get older, you're like, well, I don't want... Maybe I shouldn't talk to you if anything reminds me of my dad. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. I know women who are like that. And they do project that trauma onto
the next man.
In the new relationships. And I'm gonna tell you right now, women, listen to what I'm saying. I love you to death. I love you to life. But I'm gonna tell you something. You are doing yourself a huge disservice.
Yeah, you are. That's true.
You are projecting your childhood drama or that trauma, that relationship that you had with your father onto any man, because he didn't earn that.
Yes,
your dad
did.
True. So he shouldn't be responsible for that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so people actually do themselves a huge disservice when they do that. I mean, imagine I had a tumultuous relationship with my mother, and I never once projected that onto other women.
Right.
I mean, I didn't do that. I guess I was probably wise beyond my years. You know?
I was going to say that. But so you're telling me there wasn't one... I don't know your relationship status now, so forgive me if I'm being rude asking this.
Yeah,
but,
I got a little something.
Okay. But I'm saying, like, when you were younger or anything, there wasn't one woman who was like, ooh, you remind me of my mama. I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Just because of your relationship with her?
No, because, look... So my sisters and brothers might get mad about me on this one.
Okay.
But I got to call a striker striking the ball a ball. I wanted to make sure that I didn't date women who was like my mother. I didn't want to date a woman who was like my mother. My mama was alcoholic. She was abusive. I mean, and she cuss. You know, and she was physically abusive and verbally abusive. You know, so I didn't want to date a woman that was like my mother. You know, but even with that said, I still love my mother because I'm from that era.
Right.
It's like Pac said, even though you was a crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen mama.
Black queen. Yeah.
So that was still my mama, and you couldn't hurt her. You couldn't bring no harm to her. And I still, you know, looked out for her. When I got some money, my first piece of money, I went and bought her a house, not me a house.
That's dope.
You know,
That's really
but, you know, I knew my mama was violent, too. Very violent. My mama sliced a white man up in the 60s with a razor. All right?
Wow.
My mama was violent. Okay? So I knew I had a certain amount of aggression in me. And I could not be in a relationship with a woman who was violent because somebody got to have some damn sense.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody. Like you really shouldn't be in a relationship you shouldn't be in a relationship with a violent person, period.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah.
But if you're in one, both of y'all cannot be violent, you know, because it ain't gonna end well.
No, it's not.
It's not gonna end well. Somebody gotta have some sense. Like, hold on, baby, that ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Instead of y'all Bunny and Clyde coming through like, hey, it's us against the world, baby, all that kind of stuff. Nah, I'm not with that. We talked about Tammy a little bit earlier, your mom. Like, Tammy is like, I love Tammy Roman. Like,
thank you.
That's my girl for real.
Right.
Like, I really do appreciate her tenacity, her resilience.
Yeah.
You know, and she's really solid, and she's like this. She's a mama bear, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when y'all were younger, you know, you and Lyric, you know, would be with her. You know, she was right there, and
she was.
And y'all were like, you know, and y'all were mannerable too. I remember that.
Yes.
Like y'all were very mannerable and respectful young girls, and so I'm really not surprised to see, you know, you guys doing your own thing.
Thank
you know, like Lyric she's still doing the modeling, right?
Yeah, so she's in law school now, and she's on the show
she's in law school.
Yeah.
Come on, Lyric.
Yeah, and she's on a show on BET called House of Vicious too. So when the strike's over, that'll be back on. Have
y'all ever thought about the irony that Lyric name is Lyric, but you're the MC?
Yeah, that is a good point. I guess my mom was like lyric and jazz. Like I don't know. It made sense to her.
She likes music.
Yes. You know, my mom had a little rap career for like a month.
Yeah.
Back in her day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did on The Real World. She was a rapper.
Oh, I'm going to look that up. I'm looking that up as soon as we finish. I got to check out Tim.
Oh, no. She's going to be mad that I brought that up.
I'm going to
because she really rock with you. She going to be like, why would you tell him that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When you and Lyric were growing up, what kind of private conversations y'all would have that you could share right now? Because y'all spent a lot of time together. It was you and Lyric.
Yeah, it was me, my sister, my mom, and my grandma.
Well, I'm talking about like as far as like the little ones. The little ones. When y'all were together, y'all slept in the same room together, I'm assuming.
No.
Y'all didn't sleep in the same room together?
No.
Oh, y'all had a big house. That's right.
Yeah,
my bad. Y'all
Kenny might have stopped at child support, but Tammy was gonna make sure kids was straight. Okay?
Y'all money, man. Y'all come from that money.
She was gonna figure out a way.
Yeah, okay. Y'all come from that money, but y'all spent a lot of time together. So
yeah, we did.
What kind of like dream type of conversations y'all may have had?
You know, I remember we wanted to be a rap duo at a time. So she was like the singer of it. I was the rapper of it. We might have been like, man, we was probably like 12, 13. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the first time. You know, I feel like that was probably the time that we bigged each other up the most.
Yeah.
Because we were both kind of like, okay, well, you got to do this right, and then I got to do this right so that it's the perfect song. You know, of course, it never went anywhere, but Yeah, I think that was where because we've always been, what is the saying people say? We've been night and day. Mm-hmm. So we're like totally different. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm tatted up. She has, I think, one tattoo. You know what I'm saying? She's in law school. I'm the one that you're going to catch on Instagram maybe cussing somebody out. You know, we're like totally different. So
you're the one she might have to defend one day.
That's what I tell her. I'm like, thank you so much for getting in law school because I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're polar opposites. I'm not even going to lie. But I think when we did our music, that was like the one time that it was like we understood each other, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the private. I know I didn't really answer your question. I don't really remember the private conversations. I just know at that time we was really like bigging each other up. Like, oh, you sound good, girl. You dope. Let's keep going. You know, things like that.
Movies.
So.
You've been getting your acting chops on lately.
Yes. Did you watch Girl in the Closet on Lifetime?
I watched Girl in the Closet. Okay. Y'all gangsters, man.
Yeah, we was gangsters.
Y'all straight up gangsters.
We was gangsters.
Y'all had some fun doing that, huh?
We did.
Kind of fun,
we
right?
did.
Because you kind of really stepping out of your... Hey, y'all...
Yeah, we were...
It was, you know why it was so good? Because it was so believable.
Right.
It's people out there that's like that.
There really
for real.
is. Yeah, it really is.
Man,
and it was crazy.
Y'all own people bad, man.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, y'all people bad.
It was crazy because there was a scene where I had to slap one of the girls. So they ended up taking it out when it aired on Lifetime. But I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, that people are going to see me in this, like, slapping people down, throwing people against the walls. Like, it was crazy. I was like, they need to do an unrated version. You know when they do the deleted scenes and unrated version? Because I was like, yo, it got real worse. But I guess for Lifetime, they probably watched it and was like, what is y'all doing? No, we can't have all this, you know. But yeah, we were thugging in the movie for sure.
The role that you played was the original role that you set out to play?
Yes. So that's what I auditioned for.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because a lot of people think I got it because of my mom. Let me clarify this. My agent told me to read for the role. Mm-hmm. My mom had already been casted in it. Remy Ma had already been casted in it. I was like, oh, I want to play the daughter. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm not going to lie, I was like, this would be dope too because I really am her daughter. Right. But she had no dealings with that at all. She was still going to do that movie if I wasn't in it. Right. She was already cast in it. So I ended up reading for it, and they just felt like I did a great read. And they were like, it's going to be way easier with the chemistry. Mm-hmm. You know, on set, it's like if Tammy gives Jazz a look, Jazz gonna already know, okay, you know, we're gonna read off each other because this is really my mom. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks right now.
Yeah.
That's cold what you did, your little cousin.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was cold-blooded, man.
Crazy.
That's cold-blooded. Lord forgive what she know what she do.
Yeah.
So, any other movies coming up?
Yes. So I can't say the network yet, but I actually leave in 2 weeks to go film another movie for a big network as well. Okay. So, and then I'm on a movie called Armstrong. Shout out to the writer and director Trey Williams. So Armstrong is out on Tubi and Prime, and we're about to do Armstrong 2.
What?
Yeah.
Now, what kind of role you playing?
So in that one, that was where I was kind of getting my feet wet. So that came before the Lifetime movie, so I was just the best friend. Yeah. But I read for that role, and I wanted to get that role because it was easy for me. I was like, look, don't give me too much. But I always say that role is what really made me even see myself as an actress. So when he gave me that shot and that opportunity, speaking on Trey, and then I literally got the role of Lifetime maybe like 6 months later. So it was crazy just to see.
How do you feel when people say that you only got a role because of your mom? How do you feel?
You know, I've been dealing with that my whole career. When I did the BET Cypher in 2019, it was, oh, she only got the rap because of Tammy knows BET. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, it's always something. So what my mom always tells me is just make sure your talent shines through, because then people can't deny that. You know, I always say my mom can probably get me in any room in the industry. I'm not going to lie on that. But my talent is what keeps me there. Yeah. How many celebrity kids you know that ain't doing nothing? Huh. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of them who are not doing... I went to school with more than half of them who are not doing... They just live off their parents' money. Where it's one of those things where I'm sure they probably said, well, Mom, I want to rap. I want to sing. But the talent don't keep them there. Mm. So at the end of the day, the talent is what's always going to make the consumer want to buy into you. So, I mean, I think that's why. I know that's why I get the opportunities I get.
So, do you embrace it or do you detest it?
I love it. I love it because I can sit here with you, who's to me a Houston legend. And what did you say? I love your mom. I love Tammy Roman. Mm-hmm. So why would I hate on that? You get what I'm saying? Why would I be mad at that?
Right.
Now we could have done this interview. You leave and say, "Man, I don't like her daughter. Her daughter, nothing like her mama." But okay, you at least sat with me and got to know me. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't hate it at all. My mom is amazing.
Well, full transparency, I already like you and love you before this. You know? But what's wrong with nepotism? What's wrong with black people being able to benefit from their parents' labor? Right. You know, that's what everybody wants anyway. I mean, this is why we do the work that we do.
Yep.
I know that's why I put the work in I work in, so that my kids don't have to work as hard as I did. They don't have to go in as hard as I can. Now, as far as like being appreciative of what they have and respecting all of that, you know, those are things that you have to make sure that they have. Those are the intangibles they need to have.
Yeah.
But I absolutely, if I had a rich daddy or something like that, hey, Dad, put me in the door, man.
Yeah.
Look here, man. Introduce me to such. I got it from there.
Exactly.
Introduce me to whoop whoop. I got it from there. You know.
Yeah,
so I just had this conversation with my son. You know, a couple of weeks ago. We just talked about this. I was like, man, I just asked him dry. I just dry asked him, you know, what is it like being my son? You know, and how do you move when you're moving? You know, do you do you drop my name? And he said, well, sometimes I said, no, you need to drop it all the time.
I love it.
Drop it every chance you get.
Right.
If you know, like, why make? Let me tell you something. Everybody use what they got to get what they want.
Yeah.
So if you got something, look, if some pretty girls are standing in line at the club and the bouncer, come on in, they not gonna be like, have you ever saw pretty girls just one time go, no, that's okay.
No.
Let them go. They were standing in line first. And, you know, I don't want to go. We're just going to stand back and get back in the back. They be like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, no, everybody uses what they got to get what they want. So why would you make your job any harder? Why would you make acquiring something, getting something accomplished harder than it needs to be?
Yeah.
That don't make any sense to me. Like, we have to get used to the idea of nepotism. These white folks been doing it for years.
I was just about to say that.
They've been doing it for years. We look at it and we respect it.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Donald Trump. You know, his old man gave him, $10 million or something to get in the door? And everybody's mama got some respect to show him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm cool with that nepotism stuff. You know,
I am too.
Yeah, I wish like hell that I could have taken advantage of it in my youth.
I'm like, you're supposed to set your kids, your family up to win.
Yeah.
You know, but I was just having this conversation too, where I feel like black households, the only house, well, one of the few where when you turn 18, you're grown now, get out of my house. I think it starts there, where it's saying, hey, stay here, save up your money, stack up. Do what you got to do, get your career, your foot in the door, and then go. Even if you 24 or 25, I'm not saying be a couch potato.
Yeah.
But, you know, I loved the fact that my mom left the whole house to me and my sister. You know, and I've had people who, well, not people, but my ex, you ain't never had to work for nothing. You just mad because your parents didn't set you up for success. You got to pay rent where I'm paying a mortgage. I'm building my credit. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? But all thanks to my mom. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like you have to set, I'm not going to say you have to, but you should want to set your kids up especially to win. And the only people who don't like nepotism are the ones who can't do it or are not benefiting from it. And not on a celebrity level. Yeah. You could work at Walmart. Your dad be the general manager of Walmart. You know what? I'm going to make my son the sales manager. That's nepotism right there. Right. The only people who don't like it are the ones who ain't benefiting from it because they family not putting them in the door to do that. Yeah.
And let's face it, too. We're kind of new to this, right? This is our first generation. This is like our first full generation of black kids who have millionaire parents. Like
right. That's
many,
true.
many black kids today have millionaire parents.
Yeah, they do.
And they have friends who are millionaires.
Yep.
Their friends' parents are millionaires. So when they go in for a sleepover, whatever, they go to a party or something, it's all out.
Right.
The house is immaculate. They're riding in the same big cars that they ride in when they're at home.
Right. That's true.
Their friends' families got the same big cars. They got the big jobs and stuff like that. They're entrepreneurs. So this is really our first generation where we're seeing this excess
Yes.
in wealth.
That's
right?
true.
And just being able to have things. And some of us are just not used to that. And especially the ones who don't have it, who haven't had that yet.
Yes.
They really feel like, and this is the truth, they really feel like we don't deserve it.
Okay.
They feel like they deserve it. Everybody else deserves it, but you black, you don't deserve it.
Right. I could see that.
That's what that is. So you got acting, you got the rapping, you got the hosting. You still doing the mix?
No, so the network's going a different direction now. So yeah, the mix right now is not coming back.
Yeah.
At the moment.
But are you going to do a talk show?
Yeah, there's some talks right now. I know they were trying to bring back 106 in Park. They're not sure on the network, but my name had got tossed around for that. So, I just keep praying on it.
What does, like, let's say 5 years from now, like, if we could take a look at where Jazz Anderson is right now in her career, what would be like a perfect scenario for you?
I find myself falling in love more with acting, so I would definitely like to be on a scripted show that has 5, 6, 7+ seasons. Like a Power or The Shy or something like that. And then reality TV as well. I think I'll always be a reality TV girl at heart. So on a reality show that's based around either my mom, her family, something like that, that's very family-oriented, kind of like how the Braxtons have. And then, don't laugh at me for this, but I got Sway in the studio right now, Willie. So I got Persuasion in the studio. So I'm hoping that we can have, let me not say them, but I want to I want to get her signed. I want to do something with her that I can back. No, look, I know you're going to say, well, you're a rapper too. They don't want to hear me, Willie. We got to be honest. They don't want to hear that substance 24/7. But when Sway does a record that I'm a part of, I help her with, they love it. So I'm like, yo, you sleep on yourself right now.
You can pivot. Ain't nothing wrong with pivoting, but you should absolutely stay on your path.
Okay.
Because you got something special.
Thank you.
And I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes it just takes longer for people to catch up.
It does. That's what my mom always says.
Sometimes you got to remember, the average person is slower than a handicapped turtle. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're slow.
Right.
They really ain't smart at all. Most people don't do no critical thinking at all.
Yeah, they don't.
And when you listen to you rap, you got to pay attention or you're going to miss something.
Okay.
And that's just like at school. Some of these people don't know how to pay attention.
Yeah, they don't.
And so that's why they miss everything. So they don't want to go to school. Class ain't no fun. School ain't fun. When you go to school and you know your work, you can't wait to show off.
Yeah.
You can't wait to show you got the answers right. You can't wait for the teacher to say what the test scores are and all that kind of stuff. Hear your name over the intercom and all that. You know what I'm saying? You feel empowered. So it's the same thing when you understand what you're listening to, and you have a pretty above the bar IQ, then you would be excited about listening to Jazz Anderson's music.
Yeah.
Every time I know a lot of people who rap, a whole lot of people who rap, and I'm just not impressed by most of it. I'm not impressed at all.
Right.
And I don't give people like additional consideration just because, or extra points, just because I know them or I'm friends with them or anything like that. In fact, I'm probably even more critical. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting off like,
Yeah, let me see what you got. Yeah.
Shit. I go for that.
Right,
Shit.
exactly.
Like, and it's back to back to back metaphors.
Thank
you. Like you boop, 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 like going. Like, yeah, it's impressive. Do not.
Okay.
And keep in mind, like, and don't let these people tell you you're too old to be rapping. You're 27 years old.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's you know, shit's dope.
Thank you.
Keep it going, but it ain't nothing wrong with pivoting. You can pivot,
right,
and go ahead and put the record out with her.
Right.
If they're gonna jump on that faster,
yeah,
then you pivot, and then you put yours out and let her feature on you.
Yeah,
and then boom, you got their ass either
That's
way.
True.
But they kind of slow, so sometimes you gotta kind of like slow down and let them catch up.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me from you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had an opportunity, let's say, a perfect movie for you, perfect role, perfect movie, the perfect co-stars. What are we looking at? Are we looking at drama, action? Is it sci-fi? Is it comedy?
For me it would be like a drama thriller. I always say I love it went right out of my head. 50 Cent show.
Power?
No, the one before. Isn't that like a... Oh, wait. Maybe I'm thinking about Ghost. I'm tripping.
Oh.
Okay. I love all of those. Power, Ghost, all that. For me, I would want to do like a movie like that or a show like that. I want to be like thugging. Like the pretty girl that's... the Queen Pen. Yeah. I like stuff like that. I want to roll like that.
Like Mary Jane?
Yes, Mary. That, I'm like, which one is she in?
Yeah. That was
Power? Oh, okay.
I think that was, I think that was Power.
I only watch it when my girl has the TV on, so I don't know. But Mary was always fly. She was slapping people, letting people know what was up. I like stuff like that. Like, I want to roll like that.
Yeah.
So I guess like a Girl in the Closet part 2.
Yeah. That's interesting. That title, Girl in the Closet. When I first saw that title, I knew you had came out. I was like, let's see what this is about.
That was totally different.
You got a couple of titles, like even your album, Experiment.
Yeah, the Experiment,
Experiment, yeah. It's like, okay, what is she trying to say? Like,
look, with the Experiment, though, which I scared myself with that project because the experiment really was an experiment. Mm-hmm. So me and my team, shout out to Rudy Alexander, Cub Scout, Scooby Racks, all them, but we basically did the raunchiest records that we could do because it was an experiment. How I just sat here and told you. So, like, I did Rap Economics. I don't know if you saw it. It got, like, 500,000 views. Like, all the blogs were picking it up because I did a freestyle. So when I could do freestyles, I feel like, okay, I can rap for hours. I can say whatever because it's like a freestyle. I'm not like, what's the word? Like having to do a hook.
Right.
So with the experiment, I said, let's just give them what they want. A bunch of ass-shaking records, club records, twerking records, which is why it was called The Experiment. But they didn't believe it from me, right? Because they're like, well, this is the girl who's always metaphor, how you just said. And they're like, now she's saying twerk that ass, throw that ass. Like, what is going on? So they either didn't believe it or I was getting bookings. And I was like, well, I have to get out there and actually do that. Yeah. Like, I can't just walk back and forth. Like, they're going to be like, well, no, you have to become that artist. So I scared myself with that. But people did like the records.
Yeah.
There were some records, like I had watched this on it and this song called Want Some. A lot of people like those a lot, but I couldn't commit to them because it wasn't me. So.
Is it a way to make a ratchet record and it doesn't go on the deep end with, as far as like you having to put yourself out there, bending all over, twerking and all that kind of stuff? And so can you make a ratchet record and not be like where you disrespect yourself? Is that possible?
I don't think it's possible. I was like, when you were asking that, I'm trying to go through like the female rappers that make music like that, but it's like when you gotta get raunchy, you have to get raunchy. Yeah. And I'm not even gonna say unfortunately, I think there's a market for it. These aren't the records that I'm listening to when I get in the car, but these are the records that are, that's why and I like her music. But that's why Sexy Red can sell out an arena right now.
That's fucking horrible.
I mean,
let me tell you something right now. All you motherfuckers that's listening to me right now, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, kiss my ass. That shit is trash. I don't care what you say. You can call me old all you want. I'm old. I already said it, all right? Because that's all y'all got, really. That's all they gonna say. You old. You can sit your old ass down, old man. All right, I'm old. All right. Guess what? Keep on waking up. Getting old, being old is the goal. Understand that.
Is.
Being old is the goal. And hopefully when you get old, you have some damn wisdom. And you be smart enough to understand when you listen to music, what's actually good music and what's not. I understand music is subjective, but you cannot tell me that music is equal to shit. Salt and Pepper or MC Light or or Rage or Yo-Yo, any of these type of artists, who even Eve, who has something to say.
Right. No, but don't you think there's a market for that? That's what I'm saying. So I think Sexy Red is just like dominating the ratchet twerking market.
Right.
Like you got to think, right? And I love him. If Beat King puts out a Substance record, we're not gonna want it.
It ain't gonna rock.
No, because we know him for, bitch, I'm outside today. I want to hear, when I go into any club in Houston, I love when Beat King come on, because I know that means I'm about to get real drunk. If he start rapping with metaphors and all that, I'm not gonna like it. Yeah. So I think Sexy Red just knows her lane.
But you know what I like about Beat King? Beat King understands this is not just the market, but this ain't really me. I don't really do this shit. I don't live like this. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
He'll tell you up front. I don't do this, man. If y'all want, I'm going to do this. Woo. Nah.
That's facts.
Oh, girl, I think that's probably why people have a problem with it. Like, a lot of it is like, nah, she embodies
She really doing,
that. That's her.
Isn't that what you want from an artist, though?
That's her for real.
Because a lot of these artists be capping, so isn't it good that we... And I think that's what makes me like Sexy Red. She has one song that I listen to heavily. Other than that, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you any of her records. But she really is the girl that's going to come out and say, not that I agree with it, I do have the STD. I did get pregnant out of nowhere. I did... my lace is lifting. Like, she's that girl.
That chick actually said, my coochie stink.
Yeah, she did.
What woman... Even if it did. I mean, Gucci is the epicenter of, like what woman would admit that her coochie stinks? And it's one thing to even admit that to yourself in the mirror in the bathroom by yourself, and oh God. It's a whole different thing when you go before the world and say, my coochie stink. Yeah. And guess what? And people still rock with it.
That's what I was going to say, because do you know how many Sexy Reds there are in the hood? Ooh, that's what I'm saying.
But they're not just in the hood. You know, there's some women out there who live in mansions with stinky coochie, too.
Now, that is true. Well,
yeah.
You're about to get me in trouble.
Yeah. There's some women out there who got it's some women out there who got PhDs.
Yeah, the pH balance, you mean? Yeah, the pH balance be off.
PhDs who ain't got that pH. You know what I'm saying?
No, it is. It is. But I think she just is embodying that female. So it's like, how can you be mad at a woman who owns who she is?
I think what we get mad about is no matter where a woman comes from, no matter how ratchet, she is or how tough her life was, we as a society still look for the virtue in our women.
For sure.
We still look for the virtue in women. And we also understand the impact of the music that she's putting out,
Yes.
how it impacts our babies.
That's true.
We understand that. And that's the reason why a lot of people have so much angst. It's because of that. We understand that that image that she's putting out there is being replicated by the millions. And we're not trying to have millions more of our young girls be a sexy red.
But before the sexy reds, there you don't think that.
Yes.
This is what because I'm like, this is what I always have a tough time with. I feel like as female rappers, they get it really hard. Where I was like, men be saying some very
yes, but we ain't shit already. We know that the world know men ain't shit. I'm just saying it ain't an excuse.
Okay,
I'm just saying men start the wars. All these people getting killed right now, in Israel and Pakistan, all over the world, men. That's men doing all that killing. That's men starting the wars. It ain't the women. It's the men. So we know man ain't shit. We, even the wildest, craziest, most insane man want a woman to be his piece.
For sure.
Still,
yes, I can agree
we
with
still
that.
want that woman with some virtue, and this is why women are always going to have a tough time, being able to appeal to the masses like that and get respect. It's just it's not going to happen. I don't care how often it happens. I don't care how often women do it, how many records they sell. There's still going to be a disproportionate amount of criticism aimed toward women just because of the way that we as a society view women overall. And that's not going to change. I don't care how much the feminine I don't care how much the feminine movement grows. The feminist movement grows, that's not going to change. Just like it's not going to change where a man is all of a sudden accepted in society as being a kept man. That's never going to change. There's always going to be exceptions.
Some men are trying to push for it.
There's always exceptions.
Yeah, there's always exceptions.
But that will never change. It's men. You got men who don't even respect men like that.
Yeah.
Let alone women, right? So it's just certain things in our society. We have double standards, and some double standards benefit men, some double standards benefit women. Yeah. And we just gonna have to get over that shit. Like there's certain double standards that I see that benefit women, and I've accepted them. I've accepted that when I go to dinner with a woman, I'm taking care of the bill. Right. I don't even think about it. Yeah. It ain't even no question. I already have accepted that when I was young, when I turned 18, I got to get out of my mama's house because I cannot stay in her house till I'm 35 or 50 like some women can, and it'd be okay. A woman can stay in her mama's house till she's 50 years old and still be dating. She wouldn't lose one step in dating.
Nah, that's crazy.
I know women. I know a couple of women who are in their 50s who still live with their mother. And a woman can always go back.
Yes, now that is
to
true.
Live with her mother. If a man goes back, girl, he live with his mama.
Yeah.
Man, you finna get eviscerated by your friends.
That is true.
They gonna light you up. Like, that girl, he live with his mama.
Yeah.
Well, where does he sleep? We sleep on the couch. When she's home.
That's
yeah,
true.
we always have to deal with those double standards. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much we evolve as a society. It doesn't matter how much rap grows. And let me tell you something. Having said that, I do like some of that ratchet shit.
Yeah, that's what I like it sometimes.
But the problem that we have with music is that we're having too much of one thing. It's too much of the ratchet stuff.
Yes, it is.
And there's no balance. See, because if that was balance, Jazz would be a hit artist right now.
Right.
With that stuff that you said, that stuff that I heard you saying, that's it. Those are hit records.
Thank you.
You should be on stages, on big stages. You should be playing big stages with that type of talent.
Thank you.
And that underscores how bad it is. How bad the musical landscape is.
Yeah.
When somebody like you is, pivoting to put somebody else's music out.
Right.
And somebody like you are contemplating falling back on your music career,
Yeah.
which you do very, very well.
Thank you.
And you have other people that are going out there just saying any kind of old raggedy stuff, and they're excelling. That's sad, and that brings me back to a point that I made the other day, is that this generation of music lovers, especially hip-hops in particular, is going to be the first generation of music lovers who are not going to get the best that generation has to offer.
Yeah, that's so true.
This is the first generation of music lovers who will not get the best that their generation has to offer, because many of the best cannot get through the door, can't get past the ratchetness, and then the others refuse to play the game at all.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not putting my shit out there. I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And they might write every now and then or whatever, but it's more like a hobby.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Cold game out there.
Yeah,
cold
it
game.
is.
It's
it
cold
really
game.
is.
But you keep it hot though. You keep it hot. You warm things up. With your talents, you got. But the good thing about it though, for you, is that you're multi-talented. So it's easier for you to pivot and go into another
something
industry,
else.
and which is what you decided to do,
right.
and you're excelling in that. So,
but
I still would like to, me being a hip hop head, I still want to see you come back and dominate on the music side. But I know you're gonna take care of the acting thing. If that's what you want to do, I know you're gonna do it.
I'm liking it. Like, I'm starting to like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know if you want to do it, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because you have the talent. You're sharp, you're smart, and people like you. You're likable.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? People like you, and that goes a long way.
It does. It really
in this
does.
industry.
Yeah.
Jazz Anderson, thank you, baby. Thanks for coming on the show.
I love that outro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willie. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jazz Anderson. No more talk.